Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Chantal and this video is going to give you a tour of my plant room. I live in a very old house. My house is 500 years old and I'm really lucky to have this plant room that I have transformed from a really dull looking, it was a mustard colour. I still have a bit of the mustard colour which I'll show you, but I've just brightened it up completely and I'm so pleased to have this room just for me to work from, but also I come in here to chill. I'd like to show you 3 of my favourite plants at the moment. It's always really difficult to pick my favourite plants, but I'm going to try and select 3 of my favourite plants to show you that I have in my collection. So let's get going. So as you come into my plant room, you can see the colour the whole room used to be. I just haven't had the time to paint everything down here. But I actually love this colour. It's quite a nice mustard colour, but I thought if I was to bring plants in here and to fit with my brand, I'd have to change it. Now I do apologise about the creaky stairs, considering the really old house I live in. As you can see, I started to paint the walls a nice bright white colour. And as you come into my plant room, that's the view that I have every day. So this is the corner where I work from, replying to emails and getting some important things done before getting into planting. Let's have a little tour of the plant room. I've mentioned in previous videos before that my collection is what I would call the traditional everyday plants. I have a few rare ones in here, but I tend to stick to the traditional everyday plants that people might have in their collection. I love rare and exotic plants, but if I'm honest, I don't want to spend a lot of money on exotic plants and then having to worry at the moment to keep them alive. I love this beautiful strelitzia that I have in here. It hasn't flowered yet, but I am fertilizing it during the growing months in the hope that it will flower. So my number 1 plant that I would say is one of my favourites is my variegated monstera. I grew this plant from one unrooted leaf cutting and I've grown it into this monster that it is today. It's taller than me, it's hitting the ceiling, and I really need to think about propagating, but I actually feel a little bit sad knowing I'd have to propagate. So I'm really proud of this beautiful plant, and I know I can make more plants by propagating it, but I don't think I'm quite ready to do that. So I'd say that's my number 1 plant that I'm the proudest of in my plant room. I absolutely love begonia plants, and I have a few varieties of begonia in my collection. Euphorbia, that's another one of my favourite that I have, and I have a beastie of a euphorbia over here, again that I've grown from such a small cutting. There I am, hi. Euphorbia, I would say euphorbia is my second favourite. It's such an easy plant, it's very low maintenance, it loves a bright light, and I've had this one for quite a few years now, so I feel really proud to have grown into such a beautiful plant. I would say my third and final plant that would be my favourite is this begonia tamaya. I absolutely love this plant, and since I've had it, it's pretty much always been in bloom. I fertilise it during the growing season. I give it bright indirect light. I love the blooms on it. What I don't love about this plant is the amount of mess it makes. It's forever dropping its leaves or its flowers onto the floor. But actually I don't mind it because it's absolutely beautiful, and I'd say that's my third and final favourite plant if I had to pick 3 today. I do have some unusual succulents and cacti down here. I can give you a succulent tour another time, and I've got some smaller euphorbia down here. Always have a terrarium or 2. Absolutely love terrariums. And yeah, that is pretty much a very quick overview of my plant room. Let me show you what I have around here. I've got some beautiful monstera. Again, they're getting so big for my plant room. I'd have to think about possibly moving them somewhere else or chopping them down. My shelves are filled. Another terrarium, another smaller snake plant, and my beautiful Strelitzia, which is growing a brand new leaf, which is always really satisfying to see. So if I could pick 4, I would say my Strelitzia would be my next favourite plant to choose from. So there's my messy corner over there, and then we're back to my variegated Monstera. So I hope you enjoyed that very quick tour of my plant room. I will cover a lot more detail about each of these plants that I have in here, or if you've got any questions about your plants at home, drop me a message or comment below and I'll make sure that I cover a video to help you with your plant care. For example, I've got so much to do this summer during the growing season. This poor Pile is clinging on for dear life. It needs a bigger pot, it needs fresh soil, it needs a better support. So these are the kind of jobs that I need to do. So I've got so much to cover and show you relating to houseplant care to help you with your plant care jobs coming up. But thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.